Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Patch Notes show. Pompon's waving. I don't know. Why would you wave?
I don't know. I just want to say hi to everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
4.14, also known as Ursa Major, is here now.
Yeah, it's here. We actually had our mid-season patch back from Valencia. We had a new patch coming.
Well, before we go straight into item balance that we started to do just lately, we're going to go over what new skins you'll be able to see in this patch. Going to start things off with Terra. Crystalline or Crystalline Terra?
Yeah, Crystalline.
Crystalline? I say Crystalline.
Yeah, I like Crystalline better.
Of course you do. You're American. You don't speak the real tongue. It's a tier 2 skin, and it's going to be fancy to be able to see that in-game a little bit later on after the balance section. Not only will we be seeing this Terra skin, we'll be seeing Cuchulainn, or Cuchulainn. Sorry, somebody said it in my head, and I'm like, I got it right. I'm learning it. Cuchulainn.
I have trouble with that too.
He's looking a little bit more Irish there, that's for sure. With that. Oh, to be fair, Scott's also had the ginger in him too. So
that sweet mustache.
That hot mustache, indeed. That's going to be Cuchulainn. That's also going to be a tier 2. We've also got some nice new skins elsewhere. The Morrigan is getting a new skin as well. The Morrigan skin is called SPF 666. Guess that's Sun Factor something.
Yeah, it's a bit evil.
Got it.
Evil.
Oh, I do like the tattoos on that card art too. Who's that in the background? Is that a cloak?
Yeah, that's a clone Morgan. Well, she's technically 3 people.
And the beach ball's about to hit, and she's like, oh no! Quite clearly, that's where the third one is. Next up after that, we'll see an Alpwash skin. Freaky Tiki Alpwash. That looks good.
No, the effects once we get to it is super sick.
I'm excited. That's a pig. Please tell me that pig's involved. I'm a dreamer. I'm really hopeful.
believe it is, and I think it's one of the coolest things we could have done with the pig.
Oh gosh. Well, yeah, I'm getting the thumbs up from people about that. Alpwash, and then it's Naja's getting another skin.
Yeah.
What's going on?
This one's hype. It's one of the kind of techie ones that change color as the match progresses.
Is that the technical term? Techie ones?
Yeah, techie ones.
Okay, well, we'll see a techie version of this. I believe it's called, what was the name of this one again?
Critical Damage.
Critical damage. Oh, God, Lord, help us all. Not only Naja, we've also got a Wheelish skin coming, or a Wheelish, if you like to call it that. Midnight Dove. Oh.
This is the community
Hello.
one. This is the one that the community voted on.
I would not mind seeing her at midnight.
Yeah, no, it's really good skin.
Just don't tell the wife. That's the main thing. I wish. And then you had one Cupid skin. Have another Cupid skin this patch. Dr. Mad Love Cupid. Oh my.
Yep. Evil scientist.
I mean, he's only evil in the right eyes, you know. Like he could be a good scientist, and you're just judging him on appearance.
I don't know. The nuclear bomb in the back is a little bit. I don't know why you have one of those.
That's a very good point. I did not notice the nuclear bomb. Maybe it's for defense. You never know. America does that all the time. But not only that, there's also mastery skins for Cupid too. You know. So look. Whoa! Hi, Cupid.
Yep. Mastery updates for him.
New mastery updates for Cupid 2. We'll have a look at what they look like in-game as well. But that's it for the skins for the time being. We'll move on to the skins a little bit later on when you see them in-game. But it's time to talk about all the new changes coming this patch.
Yeah, we have our extension to Project Olympus.
And so Project Olympus, we started last time around, lots of updates in the game, from graphical updates as well. And one of the things you mentioned was a lot of updates to do with the rank season as well.
Yeah, so this patch is the ranked updates, and then the next patch is a lot of console quality of life stuff that we're working on. But this patch, we have a ton of ranked features, as well as one kind of, if you want to be nice to players, you can use this feature. That's the only way I can really describe it.
Be nice to players.
Yeah, if you want to be nice.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. If you're really trying to farm FP, this might be the way to
The only
be
way
nice.
I'm nice to players is make them F6. That's how it should be done. So the first one is going to be full split ranked updates. It's basically the new pick and ban feature. The planning phase is going to be coming in. What's this planning phase? And please tell me, for the love of God, the ranked phase is not going to extend longer.
No, it's not going to extend longer. So first, let me explain it.
Okay.
Basically, when everyone gets into lobby, they're going to have 30 seconds to pick what character they would want to play. So they can click it and highlight it, and it'll show next to a port to being like, hey, I want to play this character. They can also right-click it or select the ban option and ban that character, and it'll show the person who's picking and banning when the actual pick and ban phase starts. Hey, 4 people want this character banned, you should probably ban it.
Okay.
And so this allows teams to very quickly organize in a very efficient manner. And so this is also really good on console where communication is a bit more difficult. It's harder to actually communicate what's going on, what people want. So console is a huge quality of life. For PC, this is just a planning phase. And it should speed up the whole course of the lobby since there's less communication involved. Things should go a lot smoother.
Yep.
But just in case it doesn't, we've taken 30 seconds off the total bank time since it's essentially 30 seconds that both teams get to decide and start talking about picks and bans.
Okay, cool. So you get an idea of what people would like to be banned on your team. You don't have to say, hey, what do you guys want me to ban? Because I don't really care about banning any of these because I play support and
pretty much.
I just get Geb Shields all day. So that's going to be the new planning feature. We've also got new matchmaking division rank.
Yes. So when you play games you're match made against your MMR, which has a certain rank associated with it.
Okay.
And then you have your own earned rank, the one that is public that everyone sees.
Right.
We're actually now going to be showing you not only your earned rank, but the one you're being match made at.
Right.
And the whole goal of this is mainly to inform players what kind of their actual skill level the system thinks it is, and then showing them what they kind of have to work towards.
Okay.
So when you qualify, you actually get a rank and then a matchmaking rating, and that matchmaking rating is going to be above your rank, but we're not quite sure because there's a confidence value there. We've only had 10 games of you. We don't know if you're actually that good or if it's kind of a fluke. And so we will match you up there to see if that's true, and then it'll adjust from there, and then your actual rank will start catching up to that rank.
So if anything, in a weird way, you could actually just go off what your expected rank would be and say, yeah, I guess I'm around a Diamonds player if I can get to that level again.
Yes. And also what this means is that if you get into a higher game, this is now explained, right? Like if you're a silver player, but you're being put into a platinum game, it's probably because you're doing really good. You have a lot of wins under your belt. The system thinks that you're a platinum level player, and so it's testing that, and so it's matching you against other platinum players.
Right, okay. That makes some sense. So that's a new matchmaking division rank, I should say. And then it's God leaderboard points. This is another new thing that's coming to do with the God leaderboard and like specifically playing a single God over and over again and be very good at it.
So the God leaderboard is a bit confusing to players. It just showed win and loss, and it didn't really show any appreciable way to determine, like, if I'm a Masters level player and I get a win, then that Masters game is worth way more points than something like a bronze player winning a game. And so now you can actually see these points as you win games. If you're on that leaderboard, you win a game, you'll see how many points you go up compared to someone who's in like bronze winning a game. And so this will be the kind of definitive way that players can see how players are rated on that God leaderboard outside of just wins and losses.
Okay, so through the whole of that, then basically we've got the original, which is the planning phase that's going to be in there, the new way to look at your division rank potential of why you're getting matched in the games you are.
And that's also a soft way of essentially us showing your MMR. The MMR value is a hard number, but this essentially matches it.
Gotcha.
So it's a soft way of showing that because your MMR is really a range.
Okay.
So players can actually have information about where they're actually being rated.
And then the final thing is the God leaderboards, which we just mentioned. But not only that, this is the family-friendly thing for being nice to other people, right?
Yeah, be nice.
Fantasy point tipping. So that means I can tip people fantasy points,
Yeah,
basically.
so at the end of the match, if someone was really good or if someone did really well and carried the crap out of you because you're really bad, you can tip them FP and be like, hey, thank you for the win. And that'll be on the scoreboard. You can go to the scoreboard. There'll be buttons that let you tip. You click that, and then it's basically you can tip 20, 40, 60, or 80% of the FP you won that game. So if it was like a double weekend and you had a booster on and you got like 100 FP for some reason, you could actually share 80 of that to that person.
So can I this is a bad idea to say this, but I'm still going to say it. Can I tip a DC player on the other team to say thank you for DCing?
No, you can only tip allied players.
Damn!
You can only tip your
trying to break
team.
the system already. I'm like, listen, if you DC right now, I'll give you extra FP.
Yeah, nope, can't do that.
I don't need the FP. I need the ranking up, though. Okay, that's a shame about that one. Next up, though, is the season ticket. The 4-split season ticket is here.
Yep, it is here. It is the continuation of the spring and summer one.
Okay.
And it has a ton of stuff in it.
Well, we should be able to see a little bit of that on your screen right about now. And there's a little look at, yes, Dr. Madloff will be involved in this in one way or another. This is what you can get from it. It's a season ticket, 4-split pass, available in 4.14. Unlock Dr. Madloff, Cupid, esports voting, which means you can vote on all the esports games going on around and earn FP for correct votes from those. And you also get those Worshipper boosters and the FP boosters for team boosting as well as some bonus quests. And as usual, you get to unlock even more stuff.
Yep, you get way more stuff.
Crazy amounts of things that's going to be available in the season ticket. And so that's to look forward to full ranked split.
Oh, and there's also the bundle that you can get a whole bunch of free points with.
The extra bundle that you can get, if you get the you can get 2,500 fantasy points to go along with that. So if you start out late on the season ticket grind, or you're a newer player, you've done a switch, or you just decide to hold off a little bit, but now that Dr. Madloff skin has tempted you in a little bit, you can go and get that as well.
Yep.
And the next up is season ticket rewards. Just so you know, these are some of the things that are going to be in the season ticket rewards from the season ticket. First of all, it's the limited critical damage Najar skin, the Greek Pantheon recall, the Egyptian Pantheon recall, and new hype time level up effects.
Yes, so this is a new feature that we're adding this patch for the season ticket. When you level up, you have that swirly effect that appears around you that's kind of like a golden color. Now it's going to be a different effect. So this actually changes that level up effect.
Okay, cool. So it could be like fireworks or something like that.
Hey! Yeah, it could be anything. I'm actually not quite sure what it is because I haven't been able to see it yet because they're still working on it. But it'll be cool.
It'll be here by next patch.
Yes, it will be.
Cool. All right. And then on to the next part, which is the fall ranked split. Because it's a new season, we're going to do a soft reset.
Yep, it's the standard soft reset that we did last time. We've taken data across all the game modes and made sure that the soft reset is going to put people in like kind of more condensed and towards the center. Then players can requalify, and then they'll be spread out again as they requalify.
And that soft reset is happening right at the start of this next patch.
Right at the start of this next patch.
Just so you guys at home know. There's also going to be MMR division adjustments as well. What's that about?
So the data we use to determine kind of where divisions fall is we have a rule like Masters should only be the top 2% of players.
Okay.
So when you look at a bell curve, you have to determine what number to put that line cut off to determine where 2% of the population is above that. And for Conquest, this was pretty accurate. We used a lot of data for that. We're adjusting it a little bit based off the recent last split, just to make sure that it's in line.
Okay.
But Duel and Joust were pretty far off, and so now they have their own data being used to generate those numbers. And so the big thing for this is Joust players and Duel players who, like, you'll play a lot of games, you only get like 1 or 2 TP, and you're trying to grind it to Masters, and you're definitely a Masters level player. You can't grind the amount of TP to get there.
Sure.
That was the reason why. And so now players should be able to get TP faster, get to their divisions faster that they belong into.
Okay, and the final thing to mention is the ranked reward, which is a full recall skin. Is that correct? And that's going to be available at the end of the split, is it? Or is it
you have
this?
to. It's the you do the quest. It's the quest to do a certain amount of games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and
then you unlock it.
Okay, cool. Next up then is to move on from some stuff to do with ranked in the Project Olympus is now onto miscellaneous, and then bug fixes, and then onto itemization.
Yeah, balance.
Items and balance in general, yep. Miscellaneous then. The end of match lobby will now display experience earned if you are not level 160.
Yeah, so now you can actually see how much XP you're getting towards your prestige levels.
So I can keep popping those XP boosters and feel the difference now.
Yep.
Cool. After that is gameplay. Respawned Phoenixes will have new weakened animation postures and FX to convey they deal less damage after respawning.
Yeah, so they deal less damage when they respawn. They now are kind of like grayscaled out a little bit, so they look a little bit weaker and like almost more sickly.
Okay.
But yeah.
Makes some sense, just for clarity. And then on to bug fixes. Stone Cutting Sword, we fix an issue where players would not receive a stack if they dealt a killing blow. And also one for Athena. We fixed an error on the K screen that would cause her passage to have no description.
Yep.
So now she's got a description. And now it's on to balance. Anything exciting in balance this week?
There's a lot of exciting things, actually, I think.
Is there?
I think a lot of people, we spoiled Kernanos Raijin, but I think there's some other stuff here that people really like.
We're going to start off the top of the shopping items, and it's going to be a relic first of all. Bracer of Undoing is the top of the list, and it's getting a small nerf, decreasing the health and mana restored from 50. Actually, it's not small, 10%, so quite a bit. Restored from 50% of recent damage taken to 40%, and the same can be said for Bracer of Undoing the upgrade. They will both be 40%.
Yeah,
returned.
so this is mainly Bracer of Undoing kind of sat for a long time, and a lot of people didn't really mess around with it too much. And then people kind of really figured out how good restoring that much health really quickly was, and we saw a huge resurgence of people picking it up. And there's really two situations that kind of break it, which are the early game aggression where both players like fight each other really heavily.
Sure.
The one with Bracer of Undoing, because those fights happen very quickly, is going to almost always come out on top of that. And then late game, as players have a lot more health, a lot more tankiness, the amount of health restored like greatly outweighs something like Meditate. It's still very selfish, and there's counters to anti-heal, but it was a little bit too hard to counter. So toning it down to 40% should bring those kind of cases a bit more into line. The item overall should feel a bit more counterable.
And there's also still anti-heal in the game.
Yes,
You're
and you can buy
still
anti-heal.
Struggling with Bracer.
Buy anti-heal.
Yes. Or pick
They're all
Sodek,
pretty
or
good.
Bacchus, or Osiris. Like, there's plenty. Next up on the list is Atalanta's Bow. We're going to increase the duration of movement speed buff from 2 to 3 seconds. So it's only a 1 second difference, but is that 1 second really big?
Well, this item has kind of an interesting application, which is I'm boxing, and because I have increased movement speed, I can box more effectively than maybe the other hunter or maybe the other assassin who's I'm kind of chasing. But since you're slowed for so long after a basic attack, you only really had like a second to 0.5 seconds to really utilize the movement speed increase.
Sure.
By increasing it to 3 seconds, you have like a 2-second window where you're not being slowed by your movement penalty. So you can actually use this effect to kind of juke, to dodge, to catch up.
Okay, after that is Demonic Grip is the next thing on the list here. Demonic Grip, going to be a couple of adjustments. We're going to decrease the gold from 2300 to 2150. We're going to decrease the magical power from 65 to 40, but we're going to increase the attack speed from 15% to 30%. So a bit of a change in its identity.
This is a pretty big shift for the item. When we redid kind of the ring tree as a whole, 2 of the rings lost attack speed, and then we did a few other adjustments that limited the attack speed options for mages. And then Demonic Grip also went down to 15%. And so if you really wanted to build an attack speed mage, it was kind of difficult to do because you had Toxic and Witchblade, which are, especially Toxic Blade is a really good offensive item, but it's still utility based, right? Like you still can't quite get the damage you want out of it. And so we're making Demonic Grip something that you can actually pick up really effectively, give you a ton of attack speed, and especially for characters like Freya, where they have built-in base damage, attack speed is much more valuable than that power.
Okay, well, we'll see how that works out with Demonic Grip. Next, after that, is the Hastened Ring. We've increased the duration of the haste buff from 4 seconds to 6 seconds, so 2-second increase there, and decreased the internal cooldown from 30 seconds to 25 seconds, so it's opening more of that window up of burst, right?
So at 4 seconds and 30-second cooldown, it was a bit inconsistent, right? You'd pop it, you'd only have a certain amount of window to do your damage, and then you had to wait 3 seconds. At 6 and 25, this should just be way more consistent. When you proc it, you have a longer window to do things, and it'll come up more often, so if you accidentally use it in a situation you don't want, you don't have to wait too long to get it back up.
Okay.
And the big thing here is, especially at 6 seconds, you'll really feel this effect, but it's not just haste, like Haste and Fatality used to give, where it's you hit someone and you have a small window of movement speed penalty reduction. It's a full 6-second window of you can miss basic attacks and still go. And so players will really feel that kind of difference between Hastened Katana and now Hastened Ring, where you can actually gas pedal the whole time, even if you're missing attacks. So at 4 seconds, it was harder to notice that because you're generally in range, landing all your auto attacks.
Well,
at 6, you can actually chase really, really, really effectively.
So it really is a 6-second gas pedal that could come into
Yeah.
use. Okay, we'll see how that works out. For the mages, obviously, more than likely, at least some of them will really enjoy that. And that's it for the items. It's on to gods next.
Yep.
We start things off with alphabetical order. Looks good. I'm just checking that. Anher is the first one on the list. Anher is going to get 2 buffs by the looks of it. First of all, Disperse. We're increasing the damage done from 50 to 210 scaling. It's going to be 70 to 230. And Desert Fury, the cooldown has been reduced from 90 seconds to 75. That's a big buff.
That is a pretty big buff. He has been struggling.
Okay.
So at the top in competitive, he's been a very limited pick, if at all. And casuals, his stats are struggling a little bit. And so we're trying to give him some love, and we focus on giving him more offensive-oriented power.
Okay.
Leaping in and doing the whole pillar stun combo with the leap is going to be more rewarding because it'll deal more damage, as well as the ultimate being on lower cooldown means that you can use it more aggressively for just like poke plays.
Yeah.
Or if you want to turn on someone who's used a CC effect on you, you can pop this effect, turn on them, and be really aggressive with that ultimate. So really encouraging his aggressive style of play and rewarding that, and giving him an extra tool so that he can actually deal with the other hunters a bit better.
It's going to bump him up, that's for sure. But bumping someone down, Kurdanos, who's been announced he was going to get some nerfs, and here's a little look at some of the nerfs. Shifter of Seasons. We've decreased the physical power scaling of Summer Heat from 10% to 5%. Not only that, the Horn Charge, we've decreased the base damage. It was 90 to 290. It's now going to be 70 to 290, so early game focus there. And the Wild Hunt, the cooldown has been increased by 10 seconds, from 90 seconds to 100.
So one of Kurdanos' main strengths is really that he has a lot of tools in his kit, right? He has the slow, lifesteal, bonus damage, he has the shred, he has a movement skill, he has kind of a range poke, and he has his ultimate. And for a character that many tools, he has to have some form of downsides, or his tools can't be as strong as other tools that are available. And so the Summer Heat was giving him a bit too much scaling late game. The Horn Charge, especially with AA canceling, where someone could auto-attack, charge into someone at early levels, and cancel and auto-attack again, was really, really potent at low levels. And then his ultimate, which is this non-diminishing return CC being on a 90-second cooldown, so he could match other cooldowns of other hunters and other main 90-second ultimates. Being at 100% means that those tools aren't quite as good as the other tools that other characters have. So they'll still have his unique utility, but they won't be quite as potent.
Okay, well, next on the list is going to be Freya, and there's been a lot of talk about Freya just lately and how she's dead. Well, that itemization should help her, but maybe these changes will too. The General, we've increased the base attack speed of Freya from 0.95 to 1, and not only that, the pulse damage, we've increased the base damage of pulse. It used to be 20 to 60, it's now going to be 30 to 70, and then when you factor that in, I guess with the other changes, we're still looking at Freya and trying to improve her slowly, but not letting her go crazy, hopefully.
Yeah, so these changes are very targeted to help her with itemization problems that she was having. We removed a lot of items that she really liked, and so adding Demonic Grip back at 30%, she's a character that scales best off attack speed, and so getting that extra 30% bump is really important. Hasten Ring being a longer duration, especially matching her stim duration, is going to be a really important thing for her, and then adding her base attack speed and giving the pulse damage means that attack speed items are going to scale better on her because she works like the attack speed works off the base value, and then the pulse damage is going to help her clear a bit better. So if she gets like an early attack speed item, she's going to get an extra pulse or 2 off. Those pulses are going to get harder. If she's throwing out 5 or 6 to a minion wave, this is now a 50 to 60 damage increase on her ability to deal damage to the wave. So these all of them combined should help Freya feel a lot better to play.
Okay. Well, Freya's having a look. We'll see if there's any further down the line for her. But it's Osiris is next up, and a lot of people have been asking for some changes. We've got one change for you this week, which is the Judgment Tether. We've removed the bonus 5% damage reduction per second when a target was tethered. This removes up to 20% damage reduction at maximum duration. Just so you know, a lot of people don't really notice or know it really exists and don't realize it is actually making an impact the whole time.
Yeah, so this is a very targeted change towards the high-level play. We've looked at Osiris across all game modes. In normals, in high ranked, he's doing okay, if not a little bit underwhelming.
Okay.
At a competitive level, though, he is being very high valued. He is very successful. And so we're looking really closely to make changes towards that high end without hurting him too much in the casual area. And one was Judgment Tether, right? You have this ability that players could pop and immediately during like a team fight, if the enemy team is engaging and you pop this, everyone's immediately doing way less damage. And as the fight continues, it's going to ramp up to 35, 40, 45, 50%. And so his ability to do that, especially in the late game, is going to be a lot mitigated. And so this should tone down his late game utility from being someone that like normally wants to chainsaw people and get damage off and should be more in like kind of the frontline tanky, but he shouldn't get the additional reward of also being able to mitigate up to like 50% damage from the entire enemy team. So this should be targeted at his high-end competitive stats. We're going to continue watching him because the meta is shifting. We've seen kind of a lot of early talks of different strategies, and there could be some other characters coming into the soul lane that might be able to bully him out a little bit. There might be some other characters that might stop him from being really effective in late-game teamfights. So you want to watch him closely, but this is our first step at targeting more of the high-end play of Osiris.
We've not done that many changes because of the fact that it's just done the whole revamp of mid-season, so we're still waiting for a lot of things to come through.
Yeah, and there's other things kind of influencing like how good Osiris is right now. Sun Wukong's recent rise, where people are really valuing him. People really valuing Gladiator's Shield. Bellona being a little bit weaker now. Watching all those things shake out is really why we keep a close eye on Osiris, and this is why this change is only targeted at the top end play. Okay, well, another change that's coming through is some buffs for our boy Raijin. Yes, he does exist still. And Raijin's, we're slowly working towards trying to find the right sweet spot for him here. This is the first iteration, which is going to be Charged Tempo. We've increased the cooldown reduction from 1 second to 2 seconds. The Percussive Storm will now pierce through enemy gods. So still deal damage. You can't be body blocks in the wave as well. Plus, it's a lot of damage in a team fight potentially. And Tycho Drums, we've actually lowered the self-slow. It used to be 40%. It's going to be only 20% now. Yeah. So what's the main goals with all this? So first, why he was reworked. He was a frustrating character. He was hard to counter, and he could really, really effectively burst people, and it was hard to deal with him. So in the rework, we did a lot of tuning to make sure that things were a little bit less frustrating. The skill shot component of the 1 is a little bit easier to land. The 2 is something that is more of a dot damage now, so you don't feel that instant burst. The ultimate has the damage reduced on the CC, so the actual choice between CC and damage is a lot clearer. And then after we made those adjustments, we can now look at his kit as it currently is, watch the stats that we've gathered from the first round of changes that people play with him. And the big things are we're improving his utility. We're making the skills that we changed feel a bit better. So Charge Tempo is his new passive. It's now going to reduce 2 seconds, which is going to have a huge impact on how many spells he's casting in a game. The 1 now pierces, which is not only good for early wave clear, but it's also good for mid-game teamfights, where you can actually hit multiple gods with this, or if you Raiju someone and they are being body blocked by the Guardian, you can actually hit through the Guardian and still proc that effect. And then the ultimate, you're less slow. This is a big complaint we got from high-end players where they're like, I can pop my ultimate in a team fight, but then I'm just sitting duck because I'm at 40%. So going out to 20%, he's actually going to be a bit more mobile. He can chase more effectively with his long range, or he can actually kind of juke around his team and avoid things a bit better. So all targeted towards his utility, and we're going to continue to watch him as these changes kind of play out.
And the final change in this week's patch notes is the Morrigan. It's going to be a nerf for the Morrigan. It's going to be to her confusion, her stealth. We're decreasing the stealth duration. It was 4 to 8 seconds as you rank it up. It's now going to be 4 to 6 seconds as you rank it up. And the mana cost has been adjusted too. It was 70 at all ranks. It's now going to be 60 through 80.
Yes, so if you watched Valencia DreamHack, you probably saw Morrigan stealth, run at the enemy team, not get something, run away 2 seconds later, stealth, run at the enemy team, try and get something, not get anything, run back, stealth, all of a sudden pick off a character as everyone had been trying to deal with her. And that 8-second duration is mainly why that's allowed to happen. She can be stealth for so long, she can stealth so far away from the team that the enemy team doesn't even know that Morrigan's stealthed yet. And so by reducing it to 6 seconds, her ability to do that kind of play...
Her range is kind of shorter as well.
Yeah, her range is shorter, her effective range of the stealth is shorter, the movement speed buff she gets is going to last less long, and then the increased mana cost, if she's not successfully doing something off her stealth, it's going to be more and more punishing as those kind of attempts happen. And this is really a high-level change for her. We've kind kind of watched her over the entire season, and really it was towards the last half of SPL and then into Valencia DreamHack where people suddenly really figured out how to play her effectively, utilize that ultimate really effectively, and then learn this late game niche of her being this really good assassin for squishy characters. And so it's off that kind of play that this change is being made, because this doesn't affect too much like how casual players are playing her. They're still trying to utilize the ultimate effectively. They're trying to use her abilities effectively. High level, they have that mastered, and this was a bit too frustrating and hard to counter.
Well, Pop, pleasure for the balance section as always. We'll see you in the backside in a second, as we'll have a little look over towards the community right now, and then come back for RTO. Be ready for RTO and the skins after this, but first of all, the community girls are standing by. Savannah and Amanda are both standing by right now. Ladies, how you doing?
Hi, we're good. Hey. How are you?
Hey, I'm not too bad, thank you. First of all, Savvy, box, console, yeah, they've got the patch, right?
We did. We patched 4.13 today, and there are two things that I want to note. We got the notifications log today, so during a match, players will receive updates on unlocked awards, items, clan updates, all kinds of things. And I want to mention that if you compare the PC mid-season notes to the console mid-season notes, you'll notice that a lot of the Project Olympus changes aren't on console. And that's because a lot of the PC updates were geared towards what console already had. I actually wrote a blog about that. You can go
wrote
to
a blog?
SMITE Game. I did.
Do you have any followers on that?
I mean, maybe a few, but it's on SmiteGame.com, and I know that has a lot of followers.
You're supposed to read a blog. I mean, you have to. That's by choice. Amanda, this weekend, we've got things going on, right?
Well, now that console has their mid-season patch as of today, we're going to be doing a prestige weekend for the first time ever this weekend. So you can earn 2 times experience, you can start growing your levels, and, you know, everybody wants to get that 160 and start bragging. So this is your start.
The climb.
So it's double experience this weekend.
Yeah,
okay, you have to group up or anything like that, because I don't like grouping with people.
No,
play alone.
You don't even have to have friends.
Good, because I don't have any of those either. That's also helpful. Ladies, pleasure as always. Thank you so much for your time. And we'll see you again on the next Patch Note Show. You guys can follow him on Twitter as well for updates to the minute. But with that, that's the end of the ladies, and it's over to the desk. And as AJ adjusts his chair once more as he rushed in at the last minute, Chuck, AJ, and Fishman are alongside me as per usual, the 3 amigos, as I like to call them now. As I just coined them now. We're going with it.
Just made that up.
We're going with it now.
I like it, though.
But the 3 amigos are here to go through the skins with you. But before we do that, Hi-Res Expo is on its way. And at Hi-Res Expo, we're going to have Smite, as well as Paladins, Hand of the Gods on its way, and maybe even more surprises early. And right now, you can save 25%, the early bird discount for a limited time. There's the website to go to, hiresexpo.com. Are you guys going?
Oh, yeah.
You know it.
We've all got to go see that guy who now has to get a tattoo of old Bacchus, right?
Oh, yeah. I think that was Charlie.
Is that the only reason?
Yeah.
He's got to get an old back.
Charlie's been streaming a lot, so.
He said if there was
it a tweet?
I forget how many
tweeted it, yeah.
retweets
He's like, if we get
he
enough
wanted,
retweets, I'll get a
he
tattoo
got twice
at
that
HRX.
amount. So
Oh, no. So he's got to get 2.
He's
Yeah.
going to bail.
He's got to get
looking
2
at
Bacchus
you.
skins,
Calling you
right?
out.
I'm looking at you.
Well, let's go into the skins then and go through what we have this week. Crystalline Terror Tier 2. You saw the card out a little bit earlier.
Crystalline.
Crystalline, yeah.
That's what I'd say.
Crystalline.
You guys were like
Crystalline sounds like a
lying,
cooking-
lean,
Crystalline.
and I was like, neither.
Sounds like a stripper name.
Crystalline.
What's your name?
Chuck has different frames of references.
To be fair, she's thick enough for that, but that's for sure. Anyway, that's the main thing. And it looks like she's actually stolen gems from the gem chest to stick all over, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
I don't even realize
like
that.
Smite. It's like Smite lore bling, you know?
It's like she's a walking advertisement for us of like, hey, I should buy some gems too.
Yeah, I mean, this was a natural way to go with her, with the earthiness, the rocks, so what's up next, like crystals. So threw a little bit of extra on there, and especially in the passive, right, Chuck? We get even some bigger crystal spikes,
when the
which
passive
we'll
gets
see.
triggered, the
Also, because this is only a
the
tier
gems
2 as well,
bust
right?
out.
Tier two,
Yeah.
yes,
I mean,
but-
we've really been.
We'll be talking about that a lot. Yeah, we'll be tier 2 improvements.
I really like the color scheme. Oh yeah, Pan is doing it
see,
now.
there you
yeah.
go.
So
Good
now you
job,
get
Pan.
these bigger spikes.
I like the
That was a good shot, Pon. That's some
was.
excellent camera
He's
work.
learning.
Yeah, he's got to do it quick too.
He's getting there eventually.
Oh yeah.
He's going to do it
So-
again just
but
to
with the
prove
little
it
darker
wasn't a
color
fluke.
scheme and the bigger spikes, she looks badass.
Yeah, it's a cool tier 2.
I would not want to come on with a bad pickup line against this girl. That would be.
She'll crush you.
She will. Yeah.
It would be crushing.
Yeah.
I would
That's a
never.
very good one.
I would never recover. It'd be over.
Done. Well, there's a look at the Terror Tier 2 skin. We'll move straight along to Cucullin's Tier 2 skin,
Cucullin.
which is Bruiser Cucullin, and he's got that lovely mustache.
All right, so wait. Let me touch on this.
Go on.
So this is apparently from John Bridges, is our concept lead.
Okay.
was telling us that this is an authentic Celtic facial hair design.
Wow.
I trust
And
him.
I
He does
was
a lot of
like,
research.
dude, he looks like Macho Man. I don't know. And he was like, but it's legit. It's legit. And then we put it on the monster, and I was like, hell yeah.
On the monster. Well,
Look at that.
Here's a little look at
Yeah.
him in game with his design. That mustache is regal. It's regal. It looks well taken care of. He's well groomed. That's for sure.
yeah. He's got
Plus,
some oil,
for
some
all
wax,
you
some-
guys who like, he's got some different tattoos. For all you guys who like your handsome SMITE heroes, now you got no shirt. It's a high tier 2 value.
yeah.
New shirt, manly
God,
mustache.
typical high
new
res. Never put
tattoos.
clothes on anything these days.
That whole six-pack is visible.
Hey, RTO has lots of clothes. All right,
That's true.
buddy.
She's very tastefully
I want
done.
to see how good the mustache looks here. That's the key. When he
the
goes
berserk stash.
into the berserk stash. Yeah.
I actually like it much better on the monster.
The anger stash.
That's what sold. Yeah, Chuck. That's what sold Chuck on the
Yeah.
idea. Is just the monster with the berserk stash.
I mean,
Now this is a tier 2 as well,
Come
guys, as you can
on.
tell. Like
Yeah.
there's no ability changes, but he does look fancy with that stash.
he does look fancy.
Maybe we just like every colored skin. Now we just could give him a different stash. Every skin has a different one.
I mean,
There's
I
loads
do
of
like
stashes.
patterns and consistency like that, but
Yeah.
I just want to
Okay.
give the best ones to the best gods. That's my.
Well, there's the tier 2s, and I like tier 2s, but what I'm really about is all the tier 3s.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it's all about. So Morrigan's the first one I've got here for you, which is SPF 666 Morrigan, which is clearly a summer-themed skin.
It is because Summer of Smite. Okay, so this one too. There was some contention.
Oh,
it was a bit tricky.
Was he?
By the way, we have to show the recall.
Okay.
So the idea, right? We always do at least one bathing suit skin,
Yeah.
right, in Summer of Smite.
That's
And then
true.
when we saw this bathing suit, we were doing research with the upside down pentagram straps. I was like, oh yes.
By research, do you just go into like Hot Topic or something?
It's called
and just,
Google.
Like,
You go
Sorry.
to Google
I
and
wasn't
then
sure
you
if you
type
actually
in
went
He
Goth bathing
Googles
suit.
Hot Topic.
He
okay?
Googled Hot Topic.
goth
Okay.
bathing suits,
Gotcha.
right?
We
And
Google
then
some
it
weird stuff at
happens.
work. We
Yeah,
do. We
there's
do.
a lot
It's part of the job.
Googling.
If you just walked behind our desk on a random time,
So-
all bets are off.
The story for this skin for me was like Morrigan's friends made her go to the beach, right?
Gotcha.
And then she was like, "Oh, really? Fine. I do have a bathing suit for this."
She hates the beach. She just happens to have this really specific
But yeah, so we
two-piece.
so we made
just in
the
case.
we made the raven into a seagull.
That's
No,
awesome.
go all the
As
way
if
back. Mom.
Morgan is at the beach and there's no ravens available, and she's like, "Oh God, what is this? Seagull, go away!"
So she gets attacked by the seagull she calls. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool. That's good.
Well,
Well,
we got
let's-
kind of a watery. Or
it does
Yeah,
feel it with the
we did the
autos, yeah.
watery theme. Morgan, she's got her abilities are cool, but she doesn't have a lot of effects, really.
Sure.
So we wanted to kind of give them a
I will
unique,
find a way to have
beachy. I will find a
She'll
way to have
find
fun.
it.
Who wrote
Yeah.
that?
fun.
That's
Monster
excellent.
here.
I collaborated with Tina a bit on this one.
Sweet.
But it turned out really well.
And there's the stealth version as per usual. And then the ultimate. Well, the ultimate's going to just transfer into another person, right? It's nothing special or anything. I like going mad. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it doesn't have too many.
It's kind of
different
tricky to do
restrictions.
that, I
My
guess.
revenge.
It's like, yeah.
I not even thought about that until just then. I'm like, I wonder if the ult does do anything weird. Like,
Man,
it's
the
like,
skin turned out
it'll
so
probably
nice.
Probably
Puts
change
Odin
the
into a-
floor. There's a floor marker underneath there that has colors and
what you could have done is
timer.
put them all in the bathing suit. You
Now
put Odin in the
this
bathing
will be
suit.
entertaining.
Bit more realistic to
Yeah,
put.
that's what we need to do is skin 90 gods, Hindu.
I'm sorry, I don't
It's
think
not
like
that much work, Chuck. It's
I-
only like all year.
I
For a
think like
tier
a
3,
fan
that
as
seems
well.
very reasonable
okay?
amount of effort.
It'd be like more expensive than tier 5. Tier 6 confirmed.
So
See,
that's
I got a bust on him now after that time. He just went crazy on AJ when he was all sweaty.
yeah.
He was way sweatier than I
It was
was,
hot.
man. I was keeping it cool.
I'll tell you what, it was hot. But to be fair, I lost 3 pounds in Spain.
Wow.
I'm not even joking.
All
I came
on
back and I
stream.
lost 3 pounds, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna do that.
Super
patch
hot,
notes
standing all
every-
day, no food.
Patch notes in Brazil next week is the plan. That's well, 2 weeks time. Okay, we've got a
Hun,
voice pack, so we
you
should have a quick
really
listen. in.
unequip the jump stamp when we do this.
No.
It's clouding our message.
Voice pack,
Man.
please, Pom
Why
Pom.
is already?
Okay. All right.
Woohoo. Woohoo. You savage. Cool. Yeah, I'm awesome. Quit kicking sand on me or else. Sharks just love to eat losers like you. My bad. Thought I saw a beach whale. I never understood, Tanny. Why would you let the sun roast you to a crisp for fun? I'm not going swimming in that. The ocean is like a big fish toilet. Oh, damn it. Keep your vitamin D off me. Ha ha ha.
Well done, Tina.
I like how it's just Morrigan, only you get some
Right.
like less serious voice lines. I'm gonna play this skin a lot.
Well, I'm
if
sure.
I can take a
surprise
break
me.
from Cucullin.
I'm sure a few people will. Next up, though, it's a god that we don't see too much of, but maybe with the skin, he'll get revitalized once again. It is the freaky Tiki. Oh, wash. So the card art looks great.
Yeah.
And you were giving me the thumbs up off air.
Oh, yeah.
John.
The
That
pigs.
piggy
The pigs are a
is
thing.
certainly
Is
involved.
He throws pigs, right?
Absolutely.
Does he throw pigs?
Yeah, he does.
Why don't we get in and check out?
And
please.
No, he
Look at-
throws a pineapple. He sends out
Then the pig
roasted pig zombies.
Oh my!
Look at how
Oh, yeah,
awesome
because
that
his
mask
charm
came
is
out.
actually a different entity than the pig finds it afterwards.
He looks dope. He looks really good.
That mask is
Yeah, this is an idea that's
awesome.
just been bouncing around for a really long time, and we were like, we got to wait for next summer, and then boom, here we go.
I want to see his real face, though. It feels like I would never really see his face.
He doesn't have
you
a
people
face.
that
It's
said
just-
the skin wouldn't be cool, you were wrong.
Who said it wouldn't be
That was-
cool? Did I say that? I might have said that,
Wait,
but I'm sorry.
That was dark.
I apologize now.
I feel like someone's house is gonna
I didn't even
explode tonight.
say
That-
that
that
it was
was
AJ. I mean, I don't
really
even
intense.
really
Is his-
remember, but
is
I
his
just
hair
remember
supposed to
a
be like
lot
a
of people
pineapple?
didn't like it.
Those are the
They're
pigs.
pigs.
The roasting pigs.
So see, look at the tasty waves.
blow them up. Blow them up.
Don't blow up the pig.
Yes. Fire and yeah, fiery. We went with a little bit of fiery.
got
effects,
cooked.
too.
The pigs run on their back hoofs into battle.
And then they lay
Trotters, I should
down
say.
on some
How else do they
little
get there?
some
Yeah.
little banana leaves.
It's a nice garnish.
Sure, come over.
Can you throw that at max range? That charm.
And then he can eat them because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
delicious.
That's a good point. He's just eating
I like how
pig
they
to
sizzle
regen.
as they
Yeah.
land.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the eating them is like more thematic than the base skin.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
That is
great.
true. That is true. And then the ultimate, what's this going to be? Oh, that's cool.
They're like
Tiki
flaming
heads.
tiki heads
Yeah.
Tiki
on a
mask
field
torches.
of green.
Turn the camera around.
Are you trying
trying to
kill the
crash.
frame rate?
Of course he is. He's going to try and slow-mo it or something.
That way
straight
it's the
after.
most optimized ability in Smite.
We're running it on a dank machine, I'm sure. So it's
Of course we are.
It didn't even
Of course
stutter.
we are.
Well, in case the skin wasn't flavorful enough, we're adding some salt. So
Hey, Fish
Oh,
is
they'll
on the
see the
ball
mark.
today. Just like
Oh,
me.
Tiki mark. Oh, that's great.
that looks sharp.
That is pretty awesome. And then, obviously, it has a voice pack too, so she would have a nice little listen to that.
Yes! Yahoo! Yahoo! Yahoo!
Solid.
You're Tiki-licious. So awesome. Ha! I know, brother. I'm amazing. I guard this place, you weird-looking beast. Soon you will be a roast, Tiki. Emma, you want to know why I didn't invite the pig to the luau? Because he was such a bore.
Yeah, okay, Tina.
Welcome, welcome. It's time for you to get laid. Or flowers.
So is
the flower
he
necklace.
French Polynesian?
He's something. Yeah. You know how accurate we are with our accents.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, believe me. I've heard plenty of the English
They're
ones
always
now.
perfect.
Always on the point, that's for sure. Next up is a skin that I'm looking forward to see what it looks like in-game. Critical damage Naja is going to be the next one up, and it's along the same sort of theme as the ones we've done previously, like
Runny
Jabalonka,
XE
Mercury.
and Hunbots.
I love this card
Unbat
art. This
badge.
pose is
Unbat,
awesome.
whatever.
Like the concept team really found an awesome spot here.
It looks really cool in the card art. Let's see what it looks like in game 2, and it's as much as I was hoping for.
This is
That
one of the
sash is
coolest
dope.
effects we have too. So anytime we get to use the color shifting, it just makes me happy.
Are they
And
like musical
those
symbols?
his rings that he rides on are just like perfect, like Tron cycle wheels. It's
Yeah.
just like it just worked together well. Am I not allowed to say that?
I mean, you can.
Digital game motorcycle wheels.
Yes, that's better. Keep it together, AJ.
I like how subtle Pawn is with the techie skin, and it doesn't even
Techie.
matter. Throw
I
it.
said the wrong T word. My bad.
I'm just checking. I'm pretty sure this is part of the season ticket, this one, right?
I'm
Yeah, it
not
is.
sure.
Season ticket rewards.
Oh, okay,
Limited
season-
critical damage Najasin. So you can get this as part of the season ticket. If you know anything about the season ticket, you'll be able to find out all that information there. But here's the abilities as we go through it. Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
One of the most fun things about these skins are the voice packs.
I don't know
There's a
about that
lot
sash
of
pump
fun.
on. Don't do that one again.
He was sashing on no cooldown, so he broke it.
Idiot.
Done now.
Ooh, it's cool. Oh, just out of range.
Whiff.
He
Get
beads.
Skill shot.
Wrecked. You got juked by a Odin bot.
That was stood still.
See, and then in gameplay, somebody would be like, dude, I hit that guy. He didn't even beads. Didn't go up.
They'd send me an angry tweet.
To be fair,
Yeah.
Pom was just saying that in the back. I think you just heard his comms from here. That's what the difference was.
I assumed he blamed latency. That's
Yeah,
It was
well,
really that he missed
As
by
always.
like a quarter of an
There
inch.
we go. Well, next up then, we should listen to the voice pack for this skin too. You've seen all the abilities and obviously the changing of the colours. Well, let's hear the voice pack.
Yahoo! Yahoo! You're insane! Hardcore! Yeah, I'm a big deal. Attack middle lane. Okay, you can't be serious with those graphics, can you? Don't worry, I ain't a threat. Yet. What if life was just a video game and deja vus are just checkpoints?
Deep.
Video games ruined my life.
mind blown.
Good thing I have a bajillion extra lives.
Thank you, Pom. That's the look at the Najah skin. We've still got more to go, so we need to move along nice and
jump,
quick.
too.
But keep them moving. Keep them moving.
Midnight Dove Awelix.
Community hype.
Dun, dun, dun. Community hype? Was this a community
This
suggested
was,
one? or?
the community submitted. Yeah. This
Good
was
job, community.
Oreo.
God was
Oreo.
voted, and then community artists submitted,
Sick
and then
looks
this was
awesome.
the top vote.
And Tina actually worked higher than usual to coordinate with the community for input on the voice pack, including
really?
making Suku talk, which is a high fan request.
Really?
Yes.
Sick who's going to speak?
Yes.
That's what I hear.
Okay. This could be
So
terrible.
I
This
see
could be
Tina made this
glorious.
information conveyance request to more than one of us.
Well, you know, we
Hedging our
forget
bets.
stuff sometimes, so
That's true. 'cause
it's
I was,
looking pretty
I was
sweet.
maybe going to forget.
I mean, they have.
I
good taste.
really like the effect on the cat's fur. You got to
looks-
really see it moving around.
Yeah, I can see on the tail. That's
Talking
for
about the
sure.
green part or the gold part?
The green part has kind of this iridescent shimmeriness
Yeah.
when the cat moves.
Which unfortunately we can't move while we
we're
camera
cameraing,
rove.
Move,
But-
Pom Pom, for the love of God. No, you can't see him because we can't.
Cancel cat.
Yeah, just put the cat away, and then we'll have a little close
Oh,
up
the
of
weapon
lady.
looks cool.
Oh yeah, that turned
Oh,
out
it's
really
got
nice.
the buff on it right now, too.
Nice, pretty looking skin. I like the little wing she's got too.
Good
the little
view, Pop.
Everyone's
Yeah, the wings,
favorite
that's what we're looking at
Awelix
was the wings.
animation.
Listen, I'm a married man. I only made one comment. I'm not making a second. I still want to go somewhere home tonight. That's the main
You
thing.
got like a ration.
Oh, your wife doesn't watch the stream.
People will tweet her, though, that's for sure. It's not about work. There's always a way.
I know.
Wait, did I just hear Suka speak? I
Yeah,
did.
he's got a nice deep.
My lady, how can I help?
Yeah.
Nice comforting voice.
That's kind of cool. Okay.
I hope I don't explode when we land.
Spoiler alert.
Will be done. As you wish.
Nice.
Pom hit an ult. I've never seen that.
Well,
He hit two?
Those Odin bots jukes, not good enough.
Oh, you missed.
you still had a grudge match from the Najah round, so.
He's
I
just
do.
showing the buff. It's nice. That's a nice effect. Yeah,
And
that's
the
cool.
noise, too.
Yeah, it's sweet
Oh.
skin. It turned out really cool.
The symbol underneath is
So-
cool to show. I like how it's like a moon that's like slowly eclipsing.
Yeah, and it's you know, it's not just a traditional. It was kind of angel themed originally, but it's just not that normal angel. It's got a little bit of its own flair, unique share to it, which is I think what draw the community votes to it. So just it turned out really well. So props to everyone involved in the voting process. It's a really cool
Absolutely.
skin.
Well, good job, community. Let's listen to the voice pack.
Woohoo! You are ready for your halo. Heavenly. I am the light that conquers all. Attack middle lane. You don't want to see my dark side. Hold back, Suku. We don't want to end them too soon.
If I must.
Don't worry, I'm not going to moon you. I'm going to smite you.
Really?
That's Tina.
Did they just call me Lunatic? Because I'm Luna Thick.
Oh wow! Okay. I bet that was a community suggested line.
I don't know.
is
That sounds like Tina too,
No,
though.
Probably.
someone tweeted that.
Okay.
All right, if you tweeted that,
Community.
I'm
your
just
fault.
saying.
Some people, I think she was
You're on
taking
notice.
suggestions on Twitter. So that's
Next up, and the final new skin coming here, other than the mastery skin to this next god, is Dr. Mad Love Cupid. The evil scientist, as we decided earlier in Pom Pom, because of the nuclear weaponry in the background. But for me, I still think he could be good.
Oh, yeah, look at his face. That's a good face. That's a face good people make.
It reminds me, to be fair, that face reminds me of you quite a bit. It does have your face.
Yeah, which is not a good person face.
If you did the hairstyle, you could exactly.
I mean, the code name was Evil Genius Cupid while we were getting started, so, you know, he's evil.
Is he really going to shoot a laser?
Yeah.
What was
that was one of the major draws to the skin.
What was the distribution strategy for this one?
Season ticket bundle.
It's in the season ticket.
Oh, so this is this year's equivalent of like the Scientist Sylvanas or whatever.
Okay.
No. Modern Nox and Vampsilla. If you when you buy the fall split, you will also get the skin immediately.
I'm just reading that to make sure now that we get that message right.
This is a
sound
tier.
effects. Rip. No new sound effects yet. Sorry, those usually come in last.
What?
So.
Just it happens sometimes.
That jetpack is sweet.
Oh, he's got the voice pack though. Yeah. So this is a tier 4. We did a. Cupid has so many animation sets. It's crazy. But
yeah.
So we added a whole jetpack laser gun set for Cupid just for this guy who we just...
That's cool.
Tesla coils.
That's sweet. I haven't seen that detail.
So yeah, this concept has actually been around for a long time, and we've always really wanted to kind of do it. So, and it's a neat color scheme for Cupid that he doesn't have before. So yeah.
So apologies for the old sound effects. Those will be replaced to be a lot more pew-pewy by the time he ships.
What did Share the Love look like? I missed Share the Love. Did I miss it?
What? Oh, no, we didn't do it
yet.
yet.
Where's the hearts? Why have we not seen the hearts? I want to know what they are.
Franz Heartless.
Nice. Potions.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure what we were going to do here. I'm like, where could they go? Like,
Need pots.
Yeah. Gotta be potions there.
If I must.
Erlenmeyer flasks, technically.
Ooh. Okay.
Bring back that engineering
I think in my
use
email
anymore.
where I sent out my crappy drawing of those, I referred to them as science beakers.
I was about to say, I'd call them a
technical term.
They're called Erlenmeyer flasks.
Now this comes with a voice pack as per usual, so let's have a listen to the voice pack before we look at his new mastery skins.
Woohoo! We have chemistry, I guess. Fantastic! Ooh, victory is mine! My particle beam will disintegrate you. Inferior beings will bow before me. You'd make a perfect test subject for my death ray. Interesting. My formulas don't even contain sodium, so how can you be so salty?
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. I like that.
You're not part
Solid.
of the solution. You are part of the precipitate.
I actually really liked the chemistry one.
That's a very specific chemistry joke.
Sure.
I did like the salt joke. I'm not going to lie. The sodium one was very, very
All
good.
good. Solid.
Very, very good. And now we've also got, has mastery updates as well. We saw the card art a little bit earlier on, and we'll probably go back to it. A little
Unfinished card art.
But it's unfinished right now.
It's just still in progress, right, Chuck?
Is it really? Chuck? Hello?
Did I sell you out?
This question.
I'm sorry.
You did sell me out to a question I don't have an answer to.
I thought you said something. We'll make sure.
Look, Cupid's face isn't gold, you guys.
It's not. And it looks better. That's the first, to be fair, like normally we have an issue with card art looking better than in-game. Well, this way is the other way around, in my opinion. I'm just going to say that now.
The card art will look fantastic by the time
I
it's
do
I
really
hope
like
so.
the like sniper wink with his little tiny bow. That's
Yeah.
kind of a cool.
But hey.
Now, also,
looks better in-game.
when you can't really see, so the eyes also get colorized based on the outfit, which is a
nice.
nice touch from Greg.
One of the advantages of having giant eyes.
It's also because you always stare Cupid in the face and the eyes directly, so you can know exactly what kind of skill level he is based off how deep into the masteries he's gone.
Good Cupids are scary, man.
Yeah, they are.
Also rare.
Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
maybe they are.
At least when they're on my
Yeah, I
team,
like
that's for sure.
these color
Oh,
schemes
I
a
like
lot.
those wings look really good like that. I like it.
All these look great. I'm sorry, 2D team, if I sold you out.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I didn't want to sell them out either. I just shut up about that. But I was like, to be fair, that doesn't look right. But it's okay.
It happens, you know. We're working right up till the finish line on every patch.
this anymore?
Okay, fine.
I didn't notice the eye on the first skin, so I'm glad you pointed that out. That's
Yeah,
a
the
cool
eyes,
detail.
look, especially the legendary eyes, are like.
Well, that's.
I just killed Chuck with my super subtle transition.
Yeah.
Apologies for the coffee.
That was amazing, Fisherman. Thank you.
Well, that's it for skins. That's it for balance. But we still have a
what do we
god
have?
coming out.
Oh yeah, we do, don't we?
We do.
That's always my
It's a pretty
favorite.
big deal.
That's cool.
Is it a girl? Is it a bear? Or is it both of them? RTO is on the way.
Winning or losing doesn't matter. We all shall return to nature in the end.
AJ's giving it to you.
So
I'm feeling.
AJ's floating in the sensory deprivation.
I'm an
tank.
animated card art.
I'll
Look
get
at
the
me.
massage with you. You get the bear. I'll take RTO herself. Okay?
I've made that trade before. It's
I'll
important to
take
call.
What if she transforms into the bear, like in the middle?
I don't know.
Anyway, let's go. Sorry.
There's a lot of things that could be said then. I'm just not going to go down that
I
route.
just murdered AJ.
Even for me,
He's
it's
not
dangerous.
ready.
Even for me.
Something I hadn't thought of yet.
RTO.
honestly.
Celtic god, first of all, clearly by, the kilt. That gave it away to me. first of
Clearly
all.
by her voice.
No, just the kilt. I've not heard a voice yet. Well, I mean,
They
it's
just
a day
played
to
it
day.
there,
Alright,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, a little bit.
Return to
Where were
nature
ya?
in the end.
Listen, but accents don't work anymore.
Chuck
But
actually did the voice back.
clearly Celtic. AJ, what's her lore? Where's she come from?
So
Who is
one of the
RTO?
fun things about RTO is she does not have much official lore.
Okay.
Yeah, really, like looking back, doing some research, there's not a lot. She's goddess of bears. She generally was associated with kind of harvest and bounty and food from nature and kind of the nature's gifts to humans. And there's not much about her, so we just really like the fact that she was associated with bears. We had this idea for a bear transforming god for a long time. Wanted to really
As
bring
long
that
as I've
back.
been here.
And also, we were just really wanting to get more stance changers in the game. So
Okay.
we saw this opportunity for a new Celtic goddess and really cool lore that fits it. So we got the bear, we got the druid, and those are going to be her two stances. And she's going to work more like Hel or Uller in that her ability 4 is not an ultimate. It is
switch
change stance. And
at
she'll
will.
change between the bear and the druid. And then she'll have 3 abilities that change
Okay.
depending on the stance.
So, Chuck, with this then, I mean, this is a bit of a different one for you guys because normally you have a lot of backstory and things you have to, go towards in terms of design.
When AJ says a fun thing about her is that she has no lore, that's fun for us.
Because it gives us space to play.
We have less, things
You
boxing
have
us
to do.
in, right?
Right.
So then we were like,
Constraints.
she can transform into a bear. We wanted the bear transformation for so long.
So, what's the main things that you guys were looking for in her design then that, you had fun with and were able to do because you weren't, constricted?
Probably
well,
the bear.
Yeah, mainly the bear.
Well, her weapon, her armor,
Yeah, there was definitely some interesting things like figuring out how to make her feel feminine, but also kind of giving her enough layers of clothing that we really kind of got the guardian feel. And then also we didn't want her whacking people with the staff, so her in-hand is kind of an interesting way to just...
Slow your roll.
he's
there,
doing the
Vaughn.
both. He's doing
Punch us
both.
too
The
excited,
pan
that's
around both.
You know what?
He
We
went a
should
little early,
start
maybe.
out.
It is
with the
cool
ult-
that the bear has the
good.
same hair
I
ornaments.
do like the hair ornaments.
That
that
was
the
another
druid
thing
has.
that I'm sure Chuck was going to go into. Where we were really being careful about what elements were copied
Custom.
from her both forms. That you could see there was a connection. This is not just some random bear. This is not just some random druid. We want to have some connections there.
But you can put a kill on a bear, so you chose not to. That makes sense.
we did not choose to do that.
There were definitely some versions where the bear had some accoutrement, but it was like putting a jacket on your dog or whatever. It just
Yeah.
felt
It was a
wrong.
great idea.
Yeah. I've been there. I've been there with my dog. I don't like
So
that.
her in hand,
Feel bad
instead
for
of
the
her
dog.
doing like a whack, she kind of does this magical spiral that she can zap people with.
And it's great because Guardian basics are magical, and this one really feels magical.
Absolutely.
And she's a guardian.
She is a
We
guardian.
didn't get onto
She is
that
a
bit just
guardian.
yet, but I guess, guardian. Or was that confirmed already?
Guardian, yes.
I'm not
I've
sure.
We're talking
mentioned
about
that,
how
yes,
the-
Guardian.
The
Okay.
clothing was to help convey it.
So a
Bear
guardian
also.
and a bear. We see the autos in both the forms. Passive, AJ. I guess I'm going to come to you for this first of all. What is
Yes.
the passive for
So,
RTO?
just before we get going a little bit, just to mention that those UI elements are not quite done yet. Those
Okay.
will be implemented soon. I've actually already seen them. They'll be in the probably in the PTS build even, and
Right,
they
okay.
are her icons are awesome, and her passive meter is really cool too. So her passive meter actually doesn't have a connection directly to her passive, but it's something we wanted to do on stance changers for a long time.
Okay.
Which, although we can't see it here, she's going to have a passive meter that conveys the cooldowns of her other stance.
Huh.
This is going to let you know when it's optimal for you to switch back. So instead of guessing or trying to keep track or some kind of feeling it out, you will actually be able to see, oh, my bear dash is back up off cooldown now. I can switch and use it.
Okay.
Which is going to be really cool. But then her actual passive, which doesn't require a meter, is a debuff that applies to all of her abilities. So anytime she hits an enemy god with an ability, she's going to apply a stacking protection debuff to them.
Right.
And one of the things we learned when we first started designing this god as kind of an intro to her kit is that a stance switching guardian that has 6 abilities is just inherently going to feel really bruisery. They have so many abilities they can use all the time. They're going to be in the combat. They're going to be fighting a lot. So she has a lot of parts in her kit you'll see where we have kind of large stacking buffs that require her to stay in combat and be landing many successful abilities to really see the full potential. It's really to encourage her to stay and brawl for long periods of time.
Okay, and that debuff is, what does that exactly do?
So it's called Decompose, her passive, and is anytime she hits an enemy god with an ability, she applies a stack of percent protection reduction, both protections.
Okay, so it's not just one, it's both.
It's both, and it's percent based. So,
Okay.
and it stacks up to 8 times, I believe, at like 3% per stack. So it's really cool because late game, it translates really well.
Well, let's start going for the abilities then. We'll stay in human form and go through all the human abilities first before we go into bear form. I think it's probably the best way here.
Well, wait, hold on. And the idea with that, right, is that basically she's going to stay in the combat to keep fighting, but she's mostly fighting to set up everyone else to
More
be able to
damage.
do more damage.
So she's more of a damage dealer here as a guardian, more like a frontline bruise that's there to shred.
Definitely. And the fact that she doesn't have an ult means she doesn't have that like huge burst.
Sure.
So you get, instead you get a lot more sustained disruption and sustained damage. She's not just going to, Bacchus flop, jump in and do 100% in 1 second. She's much more sustained.
Okay, well, first ability then is called Energy Surge in druid form, and Fishman talk me through what this is going to do.
Sure. So as we were talking about, she is a classical stance switcher. So one of the things we want to do is we want to keep the targeters consistent between the 2 stances.
Sure.
So you can kind of use one to set up the other one and know that they're going to be in the appropriate range and kind of line it up.
Gotcha.
So her first one is a cone attack, and what she's going to do is we're playing up the like life essence theme with her rather than like plants and vines and physical manifestations of nature. We're instead trying to do this like spiritual, like I'm pulling your life essence. So what she's going to do is she's going to hit her enemies, and then her allies that are within 55 of those enemies, which is basic attack range, are going to get heals for each enemy she hits, as well as herself. She's also going to get those heals.
So
Did you notice Pawn coincidentally setting up these rows of Odins?
Yeah, he did a very good job here. Pon, can you go to the left side and hit just the one Odin? So actually you'll see that when you hit the god, it sends out the wisps to every, including RTO and all allies, and there's there's 3 from that Odin, but when he hits both Odins, you get sets from both Odins, so everyone gets double healed in that situation. So it can scale up. So this is a team heal, but only triggerable for hitting enemy gods. You cannot use it on waves or jungles. You have to hit enemy gods.
Only gods.
And the teammates have to be in proximity to the hit.
This is our newest iteration of a true combat heal.
Okay. Now, with this as well, because somebody will damage to creeps and things like that, but just doesn't get the heal, right?
It's definitely good just for lane clear, just for dealing damage, but you won't get the heal unless you hit it.
So that's the Energy Surge in druid form and the number 1 ability. The second ability is called Entangling Vines. AJ, I'm guessing it's something to do with vines.
Yes, so we really went life force with her, but we had to have a little nature. So the vines, and one thing we really wanted to do with Guardians is bring back a cripple.
Okay.
We really, Guardians are good at lockdown, and we don't have that many with notable cripples. One of them is probably Ares, but RTO is the new premier cripple guardian. She has this persistent area she summons around her, so it moves with her.
Okay.
And that is a persistent cripple area.
And our team killed that effect, by the way.
Yeah, really cool kind of energy vines.
Killed the whole package on this one.
Now, I know we don't want to go into the bear form quickly just yet, because I'm just asking you questions, but like if I change to the bear form, can I keep that form?
Yes, you can. Pon can go ahead and demonstrate.
Yeah.
Yes, so this is especially strong right as you engage. I even like to activate it a little before I engage and then charge into people. Really prevents them from escaping. And it's also, you can use it defensively. You can like see a Sobek dashing at you and activate it, and he'll hit it and get canceled out of it because when you dash into a cripple. So it's very much like Poseidon Circle as a persistent cripple. Very strong, but does no damage.
Okay.
This ability does not do, her 2 in either form does no damage, only her 1 and 3s.
But it also reduces that damage, correct?
It also gives a power debuff, power debuff to enemies inside.
Okay.
So more of a secondary effect, a way of her to do a little bit of soft peel. So say you have like a Baka just shredding, you can at least pop that near him, reduce his damage output. But
and then he also has to be scared as to whether or not he might suddenly need to leave and be unable to.
Right, he won't be able to leave, yes.
Okay, well, there's a look at the Entangling Vines. The third ability is called Life Tap. So more sustained by the sounds of it, Fish.
Sure. So again, we're playing into this essence theme. Her 1 is going to heal herself and allies. Her 3, she's going to channel it. If she hits an enemy, it's going to do several things. One of those things, it's going to heal herself. You can see the wisps again traveling back to her, delivering those heals. It's also damaging the enemy. What you may not be seeing from this range is that it's also slowing them. And if she hits them for all 5 ticks of it, they wind up rooted at the end. And if you think about it, that slow and that root are going to combine very well with that cripple we just saw, making it very difficult for them to escape.
So it feels like very free roaming to be able to move and channel that all the way through. Can be silenced, I guess, out of that ability. Knocked up and stuff like that will cancel that out.
She's not immune to anything during that.
And if she lines it up, she can actually hit both Odins like one through the other. So they're not
You can hit as many enemies as you want.
Yep.
And this is a really cool kind of combo ability where you have to keep it on someone, kind of a tractor beam.
Sure.
Yep.
You have to keep it on a moving target, and they'll be swerving and juking, and you keep it on them the entire time for that bonus at the end. It's kind of a slow 2 route. And this is really her only good way to engage from range.
Okay. So
it's a good way to start a
slow
fight.
that becomes a root if you connect the whole thing, and it heals her. No teammate heals on that?
No teammate, just her.
Okay. I was a little bit worried. I was like, because he heals for days.
It's a strong slow.
Okay.
Yes.
And does the slow just increase as it goes on?
That's
or is
right.
it
It
just
does.
flat?
It's stacking slow.
Okay.
Yeah, it
gets
stacks
better and
all
better.
the way up to the root.
All right, well, that's the third ability in Druid. I guess we should move to the bear form then.
Yeah. So we can talk about ability 4, which turns her into the bear.
Do we need to say more than it just turns into a bear? Or?
We do.
More.
Oh, there's more to it?
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
But wait. So all stance changers have the ability 4, but you have to rank it up. So we put things on that ability to encourage you to put points into it. And this is plays into what I was talking about as far as her kind of general design and her passive theme. So her 4 shapeshift.
Right.
When you activate it, transforms between her bear stance and druid stance. When you put ranks into it, you get a passive buff, which is a stacking buff, which is anytime she hits an ability, so similar to her passive, she needs to hit enemies with abilities. She gets movement speed and MP5.
Okay.
And this is specifically designed.
Keeps her in combat, technically.
It has 4-second duration and 8 stacks, which, as you'll notice, 8 stacks is actually a lot of uses of the ability. You can only get 1 stack of her passive per ability use.
Okay.
So what this really does is encourages her to stay in combat, to time her abilities one after another, stance switch, rotate through them, switch back. You really have to go through more than a whole rotation to fully stack it. But if you do, you're going to notice that she's going to have a really strong base movement speed, and she's going to start gaining her mana back really quickly. Really helps in the late game. And it's one thing you won't notice if you're just jumping into a fight and engaging real quick and bailing, but it's something you'll really feel when you're during long fights.
So that movement speed per stack, is that just a flat amount, or is that a percent? Or?
It's 1, 1, 2, 2, 3% per stack.
Right, that's what I was saying, because it's 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. I wasn't sure if that was percent or like actual like.
It's percent.
Roll.
Yeah, it's percent. We always do movement speed buffs in percent.
Pawn here is showing us with the 3 that actually as you multi-hit with that, you're actually getting multiple stacks of that passive.
Are you right now?
Counting up. Yeah, it's maxed at 8.
Well, you're getting
Well,
one.
see, he hit 2 targets with all of the 3s, and it's only 1. Now it's only 1 stack of the 4 per ability.
Yeah, he's right.
But the passive, actually, you can multi-stack.
Right.
It's the passive. The decompose on enemies, you can. The life tap actually gives you 5 stacks of decompose. So it's also a pretty strong protection shred.
Okay, so she's got protection shred on a passive, and then that druid ultimate gives her movement speed and MP5 in using multiple abilities over and over again. Which
Successfully
that connect. Yeah, just not spamming them. Well, that's it for the ult, I guess, and then it's on to ability 1, which is Mole Prey.
Mole Prey, that's right.
Fish.
So what we're going to do here, as we're a bear, we're going to lose this life essence tapping that we had as a druid, and instead we're going to get as a double swipe.
Okay. I mean, it's classic bear, right?
So,
like
and if you pay attention to the effects of the animation, they're actually they have a travel time like the Chang'e sweep, and they're going to damage in that direction. There's actually an interesting trade-off because one comes from the right and one comes from the left.
Yeah.
If you put it on one edge,
you might miss.
Well, no, you're going to hit him either way, but if you put him on one edge, there's more of a gap for the first hit and less of a gap towards the second one.
Gotcha.
But if you do it the other way, then there's more of a gap in between. So either way, but as long as they're in the cone, you'll hit them both times for double the damage.
As long as it's
1.5, I think, total damage.
This is it is double.
Is it?
It's each hit hits the same amount.
And that's just raw damage. There's nothing else to that.
This
just
is her
raw
highest damaging ability for sure.
It hits pretty hard.
Even after a couple nerfs.
Force in the playtest for sure.
Before we go to the second ability as well, quick question. I'm expecting the answer's fine, but Shapeshift, you can get that from level 1, right? You can start with it, or do you need to actually hit level 5 to be able to transform?
No, at level 1, she will have a point in, or she will have no points in Shapeshift, but be able to transform between stances. But she will not get any bonuses from the passive effects of Shapeshift until you put 1 point into it.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure of that because it's like one of those questions that sometimes can happen where you're like, hey, actually, you've got to hit 5 before you can become a bear. So.
Which gives her a little bit of strength at level 1 because she's got the 2 abilities she can take into. So.
Yeah, she gets 2 abilities at level 1, makes her early game pretty strong.
Okay, well, Entanglement Vines was a human form for ability 2. What's Ferocious Roar? AJ, I'm guessing it's very simple.
Well, it is. And you know what she's kind of lacking right now is just some quick hard CC. So this is just a quick AoE stun.
Oh, an AoE stun.
AoE stun. Now these.
Holy moly! How long's the AoE stun for? That's a.
It is scaling up from 1. Oh, geez.
I'm looking at it. Sorry, I've got it here.
1 to 1.4 seconds.
1.4, yeah. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that.
Okay.
It was more like I was like, right. How does that go?
And it's also going to give her a self-protection buff afterwards that she can also retain if she switches stance. So she's got the self-protection buff still on her. But the roar was really meant to be a very small radius around her, and these might look a little big on screen, and especially the crippling
but in
vines.
gameplay, when everyone's running around,
it is actually pretty tough to get that. It's very tough to get multiple targets on it. For a single target, yeah, you can hit that, but hitting multiple people with it can be quite tricky. So it's a big trade-off in that it's a very small area. She really needs to get in position before she can use it effectively.
And also no damage.
Also no damage on Ferocious Roar. Correct.
Sure. This is looking great. I'm excited to go and play this right now. And then that's the second ability. There's still a third ability, which is the heavy charge in bear form.
Sure. So when we had the Druid 3, what we had was an ability to engage from distance by locking them down with a root. And this is kind of the antithesis of that approach.
And line-shaped.
Sure, line-shaped. What we're going to do here is we're going to dash into them, and we are going to do very reasonable damage, and we're also going to slow targets that we've hit.
Oh, so it doesn't do anything other than it just hits them and slows them.
Pass through.
Yep.
Pass through enemies, damage and slows.
Bear's got places to be. It's going to slow you down.
Good point.
You can cancel out if you want. If you want to stay in range.
I love the camera jiggle.
Camera shake.
So you can cancel that out as well. So if I go 2 into 3 in bear form, sorry, 2 into human form into bear, into 3 in bear form.
Into 2.
Yes.
Into 2 to stun him.
And then wail on them with the claws.
On top of your enemies, and they're crippled and stunned.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you can charge them, cripple them, then stun them, then set them up for the damage. Okay, I get the idea behind it.
Yeah, she has a really cool skill set flow in the order of operations you can do. Like you said, the Druid 2 into Bear 3 into Bear 2 is a pretty standard setup. If you're having trouble closing the gap on people, starting with Druid 3 is generally the way to do it, and you try to queue up an ally to hit off that route. And once you're already in combat, you start throwing out the 1s on both stances, and she's just really fun to play. Very, very brawlery. Honestly, I think we've seen more success with her in solo lane and even jungle.
I was about to say, yeah, she's a guardian, but she feels like she's more of a bruiser.
She's a competent jungler because she can heal herself and then double cone with the
and having more abilities early game really affected that. Sure. And that's one thing we found out really early in her design is a guardian with 6 abilities. To make it feel like fair Guardian damage, if all 6 deal damage, they would have to do insanely low damage. It feels just like feels way too weak. So that's why we immediately knew that we need to make some abilities not do damage and have much more strong utility. And that's really what is the mark of this Guardian. Yeah. And even we'll see that in Hell and Uller. They have stims and Hell has the cleanse and debuff because having 6 damaging abilities early game is just insane, and the numbers would have to be crazy low. So she's very strong early game because of that.
Although like most stance switchers, she's a little mana thirsty.
Okay.
Mana thirsty and a little bit higher skill cap just because you have so many things going on.
Sure, I can see that. I mean, the skill cap's going to be there for playing it, but also playing against it, it's going to take a while for everybody to learn out. Oh, wait a second, can I get away from this? Why can I move that? Oh, I'm rooted, I'm crippled, okay.
Generally, want to keep her away from you, just like most Guardians.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I would definitely say, give her a couple playthroughs because we had a lot of people who, you're going to have 1 or 2 combos that you figure out the first game, but then the more you play, the more flexible her kit will become, and it starts to feel real good.
Okay, is the voice pack working for this today?
I believe so. Pond said there was some difficulties.
Pond said he's got it sorted. Well, let's have a little listen to how Artio was. Does the bear speak in bear form?
No, she sounds the same.
I was just checking.
So her abilities, she makes more bear noises, but her speaking voice, I like to think that she's kind of talking, godly through an animal. She sounds the same.
I was going for animal VGS.
You were?
Bear form.
Just all roars the whole time.
That would not surprise me.
Like everyone's favorite Camazot's voice pack.
And the Rajin gorilla.
All right, let's have a listen then.
Unleash the beast. Wonderful. All things flow through me. Attack left lane. Attack right lane.
Energy is not simply created. It is transferred. And I will take yours. Everything will be all right once the pain has gone away. Question. What type of bear is best? False. Me. I won't be raiding any picnic baskets. I'm a goddess.
I like that laugh animation.
Some of those jokes were unbearable.
See, I tried to avoid making any jokes like that in the actual voice pack. So I know that's going to be a hotly debated topic, whether or not.
She sounds very Celtic, and then she says,
The NASCAR, I thought the same thing. I was like, well, I'll talk after.
We're running out of ways to say woohoo. I guess she could have just said woohoo, but I'm happy with
the base skin, you can get away with it.
Slide.
Well, she does have her alternate
right.
skin as well for you guys.
So we mixed it up a little bit for her on there.
Slancha.
And she has this kind of a little bit more just harsh realist attitude. She's not going to be a coddling nature god. She doesn't just going to give you everything. She knows that you got to work for what you want, and that nature is just as much death as it is life. And you
She
just
poops
got
in the woods, so you got to be a realist.
She's a realist.
AJ was getting deep. You're making Bearwood's poop jokes.
Be real. Real.
It would be a high show if somebody did have.
Oh yeah.
Can you show us the? Hold on. The other skin, the skin that comes with it. I believe I could see that too. The card recolor. I should say. Sorry, the recolor. I can't remember the name of what it was. It was like the alternate card. That's the Den Mother.
Yes.
That bear looks like it's disappointed in me for not recycling.
I like those colors. I like the colors.
Only you could prevent
Right, and
I'm not saving the planet.
That's good.
We've got a commitment to recolor the bear to match the hair color.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Commitment. That's what I like to hear.
Commitment.
Playing with a little willow there.
So she's got a little bit more of a white fur cape and golden hair, and then a golden bear.
Making it.
She should use her staff to clean her shoe off.
Just knocking some dirt loose, Oh, so many bear skin ideas. I know the community's gonna become. Ooh, golden bear.
That's nice. And she keeps the hair ties in it, and the
oh, he's really glowing.
Gives the recolor a
just
little
like the
bit
card
more
art.
value,
Yeah, it's
I actually like him better in
bear.
person. That's cool.
It's great.
Looking good, looking good. A nice, lovely looking bear to maul you in your side lanes, in your jungles. We'll see where he ends up getting. Well,
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing her a
lot.
lot in support and playtesting too, so and she can do that just fine. But
Okay. Well, I'm really excited about this, and I think that's all we've got, is it not?
I think that's
I
it.
think that's all we've got this week. So
Pretty
we've got
hype patch.
balance changes, rank changes, and now new god going to be unleashed, and this should be PTS. That's the next question that everybody always cares about. When is PTS ready?
As soon as we
That's
can.
Chris's call. Yeah, it's
Follow him on Twitter.
Sometimes it's up. It's ready to go now. Sometimes we
Any
don't know.
rough idea? Come on.
Hopefully tonight, maybe tomorrow.
Come on,
We're
Chris.
kind of
Everyone
eyes
tweet
down,
at Chris.
We honestly,
getting stuff done. Hindu.
know,
We're
I
not
know.
like when's
QA is
PTS?
at their desks furiously verifying it right now so they can put
Listen,
it
you
live.
got all
Like
this hype.
this.
You do the
I
hype
don't
show
know.
as well.
It's not like they have a
people
bad
wanna go play
signal
it.
for the PTS deployment. It's like, oh, there it is. It must be ready.
But get on the PTS, try it out, try the stuff out.
Well, with that, it's time for us to close, but don't go anywhere, because if you've not noticed, if you're following the esports scene, we're doing the Energy Invitational, and the draft is about to happen straight after this, with all the pro captains about to choose their teams for who's going to take part in that. They can select anyone from EU or NA.
I'm excited for the draft. It's going to be really cool.
Right, it mix up of teams, and we'll see who's actually good, and if EU just dominates everywhere. That's pretty much the case.
Oh.
But when all the EU gets drafted into all different teams, then,
But what we actually did was we actually put a limitation of only 3 per regions, just so it wouldn't just be a European endeavor. Just for those guys at home as well.
This banter was funnier before EU won everything.
It was, and then I don't get to do it as much anymore because everyone just gets upset then. Like, oh. Guys, before I let you go, what's your favourite thing in the patch, Chuck? Good call.
Oh no, there's so many good stuff. Not Cullen's mustache. I know that you think that
Close.
so much.
Close second.
I'm looking forward to having a cool new Morrigan skin to play, but I think I'm really super interested in transforming into the bear.
Me too. What about you?
Oh, the bear. I mean, RTO. Honestly, This is the
I should
first.
never ask you because you will always go with the god. Always go with the god.
But this one's especially hype
It's a
because
bear.
we haven't had a true stance changer since Uller, which was released in 2014. Everybody,
When we
That's
wanted to put a bear.
over 3 years ago.
That's
so this is going to be very interesting, and the animation team and the art teams just did such a great job on the bear. Actually, swiping with one paw while you're running around as a bear feels so fun. Like it's great. It's really great.
Fish.
It might be the points tipping that you can do to. No, it's the bear.
The points tipping is good though.
It
you know,
is very cool, but
Positive,
not as cool as a
happy
bear.
features. Be nice to each other. Features are always good.
For me, it's the AC in the building, and that's the main important thing to take home with you. AC is a lifesaver.
We do take it for granted here.
But with that, it's time for us to close the show. Send us all the feedback as per usual. PTS will be getting announced ASAP. As soon as it's available, we'll let you know. And the patch should be available next week. But for everyone here, goodbye and stay tuned for the Energy Invitational. Draft will be coming up straight after this.